Yes, I do. I authorize the...
Okay.
Great. Well, I noticed that you had signed it. You had issued the summons for a legitimate purpose under the law, pursuant to the U.S. versus Powell, I think it was. So you're of the opinion that the Constitution and Code apply to, and the IRS has jurisdiction over him?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, let me just write that down.
Are you just trying to find out if he actually falls under the jurisdiction of that summons?
I'm trying to find out. My follow-up question is, do you have actual evidence that would prove that the Constitution and Code apply to him and that the IRS has jurisdiction to investigate?
So you're bringing it as a constitutional matter?
No, it's an evidentiary matter. I'm pretty certain that you base your argument that there's jurisdiction over, based on the Constitution and Code. So I just want to know if you have any actual evidence that would prove that the Constitution and Code apply and that the IRS and yourself would have jurisdiction to issue a summons.
Let me give you the number to the actual assistant U.S. attorney who's the one actually who brought the suit forward, who would be able to discuss that with you. Now, that's kind of out of the scope of what I can discuss. So let me give you that name and number real quick.
Well, they're not going to speak to me because I'm not a lawyer.
I can't make a legal stance on behalf of the IRS. That's not what I can do. So the answer to that specific kind of question would have to come from either an attorney from the IRS or the assistant U.S. attorney.
You did sign a document that was filed in court that you issued the summons for a legitimate purpose under the law, correct?
Of course.
Okay, and so you're under the impression of you believe that the laws do apply to.
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any actual evidence that would prove that the Constitution and Code, these laws actually apply to him to support your argument?
I think we're getting into a constitutional matter that is out of the scope of this and incites of the argument, basically. So you're just trying to claim something that's out of the scope. I mean, he is a United States citizen. He is subject to the United States tax code, and therefore that's the reason why we've been trying to contact him. And so at this point, if you'd like to get an attorney, he's more than capable or has that right, but I'm kind of uncertain how you want to proceed with this.
Well, whether or not he's a citizen presupposes that the Constitution and laws apply to him, so you're kind of just presupposing your argument instead of just providing the evidence to show that it's true. So, you're making these statements and you're filing them into court as if they're true and that you have evidence to back them up. I just want to know what evidence you rely on, if any, to prove that the Constitution and Code apply to him.
Well, that's not a matter that I can really discuss with you at this time.
Oh, let me write that down. So,
why don't you contact Miss and her number is...
Yeah, she's going to refuse to speak to me.
Well, let's see what she does, and then get back to me. And if she refuses to speak to you, let me know.
Well, I'll do that. I still have a question here that if you're making these legal determinations that the Constitution and Code apply, why can't you answer a question regarding what kind of evidence, if any, you rely on to support those arguments?
At this time, I'm not going to discuss it with you because you're not an actual attorney, sir.
So you're gonna pull the attorney card, same as your attorney will, but you already have third-party authorization to discuss this matter with me.
I do, but I'd like to refer the matter to Ms. who is the expert in this field.
You're the one, but these are your arguments that you've made. You issued the summons prior to... Well, let me finish. You issued the summons way before Ms. got involved.
Correct.
We're talking about the legitimacy of the summons that you yourself had issued, and I'm looking at a copy here. It looks like, I don't know if this is a robo-sign or if you personally signed it. You signed this on the 26th of August. Well, that's the time. I'm sorry, that's not when you signed it. You did it on the 29th of July. Now, when you made these statements, were you doing it under the advice of Ms.
Let me get back to you, Mr. Stevens.
You see what I'm getting at?
And I will respond to you appropriately. So that's Mr. Stevens, and I will give you a call back at the number you provided. Would that be all right with you?
Yeah, and I'm gonna. It's probably not going to be today, I'm sure, and that's fine.
No, it wouldn't be today, so it would probably be tomorrow.
Tomorrow, okay. And you're going to call back with who?
With me, if possible.
Oh, well, okay, that would be fine. There'd probably be less resistance on her part to speak to me.
Of course, yes. That's why I'd like to have her answer this, because this is in her purview more so. So I will do that. I will give her a call and get her on the line to speak with you tomorrow.
Okay, so just to clarify, you can't discuss the matter with me because you don't believe you're qualified to discuss those issues?
Correct.
Okay, well, let me just write that down. Not qualified to discuss evidence. Constitution applies. Okay. And, well, yeah, of course you have my number, so. All right.
Well, thank you much, Mr. Stevens.
Thank you for the call back. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
All right, bye.
Bye.